Welcome back to Sahara TV. My name is Rudolf Okonkwo. This is the Skype call segment. This is when we give you the chance to give us your feedback on some of the shows we've been providing to you. We have had serious discussions on several topics here. We spoke to the Human Rights Watch about the situation in Central African Republic. We also spoke to Premium Times managing editor on human trafficking. We had a critic of the story also join us, Ikhide, and they had a discussion about that topic. We went to Ghana and we spoke about the genetically modified food, which is making its way across Africa and the rest of the world. And from the Nigerian House of Rep, we spoke to the woman in charge of the diasporan issues. She talked about the plight of Nigerian students abroad, and she touched on the possibilities of Nigerians abroad voting in elections in time to come. Now we are going to go to our Skype calls. We have some callers who are joining us, and we are going to talk on three major topics. One, we want to discuss the removal of Mr. Mbu, who was the police commissioner in Rivers State, where there have been crises with how they try to provide law and order in the state. We're also going to talk about Asari Dokubo's arrest and what that means for the approach of the SSS in dealing with issues of political intrigue in Nigeria. And finally, if we have the time, this is the Black History Month in America, and we want to ask if Nigeria and most African countries, they need to dedicate a month in a year to discuss their own history, because we believe that most people are not very familiar with the histories of their countries. So joining us in this discussion is, we have from Belarus, we have Brightweight. Brightweight, welcome to Sahara TV.
It's a pleasure.
And from Canada, we have Yemi. Yemi, welcome to Sahara TV. All right, Yemi can now hear me, obviously.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there's a delay with Yemi.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Yemi, thank you. Also, we have Ike. Ike, welcome to Sahara TV.
Thank you very much.
Ike, where are you? Where are you?
I'm calling from Nigeria.
From Nigeria. Where in Nigeria?
Lagos.
Lagos. Okay, very good. College, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, welcome to Sahara TV.
Thank you.
All right, let me start with Mbo, the removal of Mbo from Rivers State. College, let me start with you. I believe you are you from Rivers State?
No.
Okay, no. Okay, why am I starting with you then? All right, let me go to Ike in Nigeria. Ike, how did that story play in Nigeria when it was reported that he was removed? Did anybody care?
Of course, people care.
Okay.
You know, here in Nigeria, we have been put to a place whereby the common masses are not participating because we are hungry. So, and you know, a hungry man always go out for food. So nobody is talking about what the political class are doing. So some people care, some people don't care. But for me, I think I care.
Did you see that as any kind of victory for the opposition who were insisting that something has to be done in that state?
I didn't see it as an opposition. I didn't see it as a victory for the opposition. Because, you know, if you see it as a victory for opposition, anybody can be in opposition. But what I see is that in Nigeria, these guys, they know how to play their games. And when they try to buy people with pity, they do sort of things. Maybe because we are approaching 2015 election, that is why the government have to act on what people have been saying long time. So I don't see it as a victory to the opposition at all.
All right, thank you. Brightweight, let me come to you. What is your take on the fact that this happened now? The government is saying that it was simply the next step for him to move on to the next position, and the next thing they wanted him to do, that it wasn't out of pressure from anybody. How do you read that?
To me, I'm happy anyway, one, because that is my state. I'm from Rivers State.
Okay.
And secondly, let me give this proverb in English. There's one proverb in Nigeria. It says that when you sell a dog and you buy a monkey, you are still in the same place. So now we don't really know, because this person, they are still subject to the president. They are still subject to the Inspector General of Police. So it might have been said, okay, let's just, since the main thing is just to remove this man, we can remove this person and still put another person with the same character. So to me, let us don't be fast in conclusion. Let's just watch how things play in a month or 2 months' time or 3 months' time. That is, to me, I don't want to judge anything now, because the present commissioner that was appointed is still subject to the Inspector General of Police, is still subject to the president. So we don't know yet. We don't just know yet. Maybe just to replace this person, since it has been calling, let's replace him. Just a change, not maybe there's no change at all. We don't know yet, so I won't conclude anything.
Okay, thank you. I understand what you're saying, Yemi. So we don't know if this was it's actually a good change, or if this was as a result of pressure from the opposition. But what does it say about a government that a majority of people across the country are complaining that things are not going well in that state, and that this police commissioner is apparently being political in his job, and it took them a long time to take action? You mean?
Can you rephrase that question?
Yeah, I'm saying, what does that say about a government that took this long to take action that the majority of people in the country have been demanding for? And it was obvious that the police commissioner was being political in his approach to issues there.
Yeah, it's very clear. You know, I really appreciate the last two speakers. It just shows how incompetent, how irresponsible the current administration we have. I could remember Wole Soyinka talking about all these cases whereby the Inspector General was just violating people's rights in Rivers State and turning the state upside down. It took so long, and like what Ejike said, it's not a victory to anybody. It just shows the kind of system we are running back home, that, you know, some people are somewhere controlling people. The police is meant to be unbiased, but it's sad that in Nigeria, you know, they can be instruments of some people.
Colleague Joe. So this has happened, and of course the country moves on. When do we get to the point where we learn something from this? There was an interview that the police commissioner gave to the media, and basically he was boasting that he said, and I quote, "I'm a witch, and I see things, I hear things, I'm a spirit. Information come to me before it gets to other people." Obviously, he is not concerned about the reputation that he was curating in that state. So when do we get institutions to function the way they should, rather than have this kind of situation where people have to cry and complain for months before actions are taken by people in power?
You see, Rudolf, that's a good question. We have not worked hard for the Nigeria we are desiring. So, you know, for we to see that change, the change is not going to come to work hard and, you know, force institutions to be accountable to the people. You can imagine, let's say if they don't have opposition and we don't have any social media that these people are always looking at to see what people are saying, probably this guy will still be there. So lots of this opposition and also social media critics, these people are making them, you know, forcing them to take a stand, you know, when it comes to being accountable. Although maybe removing this guy may not change anything, but at least it's still something, you know, towards change. Because I know this will teach Nigerians that if it takes this long to take this guy out and we're just watching. No, I'm not sure the people of Rivers State went to the streets to protest that this guy should get out.
They didn't. Again, no, they didn't.
They didn't. Again, that goes to what, I don't know whether it was HGK that was saying that you know, the common man is concerned about his daily bread. So probably that's not none of their concern. This goes again to the election that is coming. The people have to, again, mobilize themselves.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's leave that. Let's go to a similar story, which is that of Sari Dokubo, who was arrested this week for a brief moment. Basically, he went and reported to the SSS directorate. and came out. Ike, how did that play in Nigeria? How did people read that story? How did people discuss it where you are?
Thank you very much. You know, this is, I think this government or this political class, they have come to learn so many tricks. They are playing so many tricks on we Nigerians. How this Togubo have said this thing days ago. Why now they want to question Togubo because of the issue of El-Rufai? In Nigeria here, like I said, this political class, every day they are putting all their plans so that they will divide every Nigeria along political and, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
They want to divide us along political and religious line so that they will always achieve their end of looting us. Like you asked a question about what Mbu we learn from it. I think the time Nigerians can actually achieve something is when we have government that are accountable, that are transparent. For the Asari Togubo issue, these people, they have made government their father's business because they are making too much money from illegal acts. So you, as an ordinary Nigerian, have nothing to say or have nothing to benefit from all these their games. Bringing Asari Togubo to SSS to answer a question, you have nothing to do with a common man in the street. You have no effect because he knows them and he has been eating with them at the same table. So what are we going to look like? Everybody's going in his own business. Nobody knows if Asari Togubo was arrested or was questioned because he have nothing to do with you as a common man.
Okay.
Even though they tell him, just in the paper we can read it. He have nothing to do with us.
Okay, that makes sense. Brother, let me ask you. So Asari Togubo was picked up and he spent about 7 hours and was released. Does that satisfy people who are feeling that the SSS has not been doing things in a fair manner? Or was that just a distraction to make up for what was obvious to many Nigerians?
It's already late. That is what I will say. This what they should have done it before, is when Nigeria started crying. To me, this shows the level of deceit. They want to deceive Nigeria. Where are they deceiving? They just called Asari and after they released him. It doesn't make sense because they were to call him before now. Nigeria started crying, they now called him. And we know that nothing will come out of it. So it's on seriousness. It doesn't satisfy us. Because we no longer want it. We no longer want it. They shouldn't call him again. Whether they called him or not, it doesn't make any difference.
All right. Yemi, we spoke to El-Rufai after he was released, and one of the things he said was that he wasn't going to back down, that he would continue to say the same thing. And I don't see Asari Togubo backing down from some of the statements he was making. So do you think that these SSS interventions are any helpful to anybody?
Well, I really don't think so, but I just want to be on a very neutral ground on this. I don't really appreciate people talking about baboon and somebody killing one tribe, killing another. I think either party, either you're on the opposition or you are the incumbency, they should try and focus more on what do they want to do for the masses. Like what AGK said, what do we want to do? Either you are opposition or you are incumbent. What are you doing to better the lives of the people? Not start talking about let's kill ourselves, if it's do or die affair, if it doesn't win, Nigeria will scatter. That's not what we need now. What we need is something more positive. What are we going to do to make lives better for our people, period?
All right, Kolijo, if people stop talking, let's say the SSS, they were able to make people to stop making statements that they don't like. Would that stop people from planning to do things? Because making statements is one thing, but planning to do things or taking action, especially along the line of those statements, would that stop too?
No, that won't stop. The only thing, what makes these statements public is the media again. You know, the medium which they use to to go. They want it public, mind you. They want the statement public. If they want to take action, it will be public.
Okay.
So those are two different things. So if the person actually wants to do something, he's not going to tell you. Yeah, have you heard what they call these people? A Boko Haram. If they want to go bomb somewhere, they tell somebody. No, they can only make a threat. But when it comes to executing it, they won't do it. So it won't stop them from doing anything if they want to do something.
Okay.
So, but again, they still have to like stop them from saying something like this. You know, this guy, I don't know, this guy should be in jail if it's in another country, in a democratic country.
Who are you talking about?
Asari Dokubo, he should be in jail if he's in another country. Because I think he's still part of the people collecting the what they call it again, the money that the government gives to the Niger Delta.
Yeah, he's one of the former Niger Delta militants. All right.
You see.
And they collect more money than some people in the military. All right, let's go to our next topic. Really, I don't know how many of you watched our interview with the managing editor of Premium Times about the human trafficking reports that they published. But let me just try and see. Ike, are you aware of that story at all in Nigeria? Because Premium Times is an online news media.
Which story is that?
I was talking about the story, the investigative report about the human trafficking in Nigeria that Premium Times published. Were you aware of that?
No, I'm not aware.
No, you're not aware. Okay, so it's not playing in any Nigerian newspapers.
Yeah.
Okay, Brathwaite, were you following? Were you aware of that?
Yes, the one I read from Sahara Reporters was the one a lady was undercover and followed till the Benin border.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's
it's the same story. Yeah.
Yes. I read it. I read the whole thing about the risk that journalist took.
Okay, so what do you think about this story?
When I followed it, I found out that the culprits is till the end. The whole system in the country is part of the game. So it will be a very difficult situation to tackle. That is my own view. The whole system is part. So if the government is really serious, they can still track it down and destroy that what I would call the chain.
The network.
These people, the network, destroy the network, if the government is sure, but it will not be easy. But what really I found out that is in the system. It involves all the cadres. That's just what I was at.
Okay. Yemi, were you following? Did you follow that story and our interview?
No, I actually didn't follow it, but I've read some related story previously. But it's all about, when people don't have job, where the level of poverty is so high and the educational system is so poor, people just want to get out. It's just survival of the fittest. You just want to get out. We are in the diaspora today because we're looking for a better life. We're in America. We're all over the world. But the fact is, if Nigeria becomes better today, a lot of people would change their minds. The mindsets would change that if I can make it in Nigeria, there's no point trying to, nobody would fall a victim of, come to London, let me do immigration for you to London. People will stay back home. That's just the point. And the government needs to act on that, try and make job opportunities more prevalent. And it's really very easy to do that. We have everything it takes.
All right. Colleague Joe, did you follow that discussion or the debate that has been going on about human trafficking and Premium Times?
No, I didn't follow it, but I just heard a little bit of the interview where the guy was accusing the editor of not reporting credible news, something like that. So I didn't get what he was trying to say, that Premium Times they have to investigate something. So I didn't get that point.
All right. So let's move to something that we discussed that was very interesting. That was a genetically modified food in Ghana. And it's also making its way into Nigeria. Ike, let me ask you, do people in Nigeria worry about something they call genetically modified food?
It's when you are aware of something, you should be worried about it. When you are not aware, how can you worry? It's when you are educated about something, you know the effects, the negative and the positive effect of it. You'll be able to worry about it. But when you don't have this information at your hand, there's nothing to worry about.
But have you bought any food products that you felt tested differently or that is different from what you are used to in Nigeria?
Actually, there's a lot of food items you bought and they are not even good for human consumption in Nigeria here.
And
but anyone that is giving problem at the moment.
Nobody asks the question about why is this different? Like if you buy let's say cassava, maize, you know, and it's different. Do you worry about why is it not the same way you used to test?
For me, I worry, but for others, some people don't even know the test of the different tests they have.
All right, Bradway, let me ask you, where you are, do you worry about the modified, genetically modified food?
Yes.
Worry because we had so many things. It's like something that can have side effect, you know, because these things after they did it, it just grow overnight. Something growing overnight. You understand? So and these things are not good to health. That is why you see a lot of sickness. You see a young man of 30-something years, he is suffering from high blood pressure, diabetes, and all that. So for me, I'm worried. But for the common man who is very, very hungry, I don't think he's worried about this thing. I'm telling you.
That's a good point. Okay. Bradway, what are you thinking about?
Yes. This is an exact topic because I'm studying medicine here in Belarus. This exact topic was one of the topics I was given to write on in school, genetically modified food, under Department of Environmental Medicine. And here I am, even in America you are, and other people who are outside the country, you will agree with me that the goats we eat outside, the chicken we eat outside, the eggs we eat outside Nigeria, the taste and the odor and everything is quite different from the normal one we eat in Nigeria. The eggs overseas don't even have taste like the chickens is almost tasting like water. The corns, most things, these are the effects of genetically modified food. Ordinarily, they don't have taste, and I know they also have their own dangerous effects on the body. So I'm really concerned, but for now in Nigeria, I don't think our people in Nigeria should be going towards genetically modified food, because the aim of genetically modified foods is to reduce the cost of these foods and make it in mass quantity. But we don't have any scarcity of foods for now in Nigeria. So I don't think for now Nigeria is yet matured for genetically modified food. That's my own contribution. Okay,
Yemi, the goats you eat in Canada, do you import from Nigeria or do you eat the Canadian goats? And does it taste different?
I think we lost Yemi.
Yemi, okay, College now is to you. The goats you eat in Canada, how are you worried about the genetically modified content?
You know, the goats, you know, everything here is genetically modified. You know, they have to meet the demand. So average Canadian, I would say they eat almost 2 full chicken every week. So imagine Nigerians don't eat chicken like that. Not that they don't eat, they don't eat it every time like that. So yeah, the goat and this thing, when you taste it, you'll know like this one is not the issue that people eat back. It's
not the one.
It's not. It doesn't taste like even the banana too is you will know. So everything is mostly is genetically modified. So yeah, they have to meet the demand. That's the key thing there. That's the reason they're giving. Yeah.
Jimmy, are you back?
No, he's not yet.
He's not back. Okay. All right. So, Ike, now that you know that your people abroad are eating chicken that is not good, goat that is not good, how does that make you feel? Are you sorry for people abroad and the kind of thing they eat?
Yes. Really, I'm sorry for people abroad. You know, because condition we find ourselves. That's why everybody wants to be abroad. Because we have here we are still natural. I've been to so many places in the world, and I find out that here we are still natural. So many natural things to harvest. But due to the intensity of the environment, makes everybody to live. So for people abroad, really, I'm sorry for them. So like I was watching one of my friend in Facebook today, and I'm looking at him. He's living in UK. I found out he's not looking healthy. And I think it's some of those things that caused it. So, really, I'm sorry for that.
Well, it's not everyone that live abroad that looks healthy anyway.
Sorry?
It's not everyone that live abroad that looks healthy.
I'm telling you, majority of people living abroad, some of them are now healthy. I'm serious. If they leave that environment and land here in Nigeria, and there's a sun, they are beaten by this kind of sun here, I'm telling you, that person will face sick at the next day. And this guy is not taking it.
All right, let's go to our other topic. This month is known as the Black History Month in America. That is when America, they reflect on the journey of the African Americans who came from Africa here and what they went through. And we want to ask our guests on Skype if they think that Nigeria and mostly African countries, they need to dedicate a month in the year to talk about their history, where they've come from and where they are with things. Do you think it's necessary? Let me start with you, Ike, in Nigeria. Because we know we've had several efforts in Nigeria, like the NYSC scheme, which was an attempt to get people to know other parts of the country and the history of the country. Do you think that it might be helpful to have a month in the year when we focus on Nigeria's history?
Yes, I think it would be very, very helpful. But the problem is like they are doing it in America, where a lot of things has been put in place. Do you understand? You know, sometimes when you say, let's have maybe give a day for people to come and talk about their history here in Nigeria, you know, some people will not be interested because I keep saying all these things because people, when a woman or a common person, if he didn't go to the market or if he didn't go out in a day, he cannot feed the child at home or feed herself or the man feeding himself. And you are not telling him that you come and tell us your history. Do you understand what I'm saying? It will be very, very difficult for somebody to take this thing as important. So it will be helpful when people talk about their story, their history, what they have gone through. And if they hear these things, it will help to look at the future and give future a very definite structure. But nobody is willing to listen to that one now.
It's a good idea, good point. But also, there are people who go to market in America and they still discuss Black History Month. All right, let me come to you, Brethwaite. What do you think about having a month dedicated to the study or the discussion of the history of Nigeria?
I think that's a good idea, because it gives them motivation. Because there's a lot of people in America, in UK, and other black places who are from Nigeria, who are from Africa, who have really made it in the world and who have really made history in the world. And back in Nigeria, our young ones don't even know about that. So there's need to bring out that day, because if we are waiting for a state of utopia, that is a perfect system, whereby everything is all right before we start discussing all these things, it will be difficult. So there is need to map it out so that sometimes we talk about the black people who have really migrated and who have succeeded in life. For example, there was a time when this black guy from one part of Nigeria, I think from Yoruba, killed a British cop in Britain. They now announced that, oh, he's from Nigeria. So the Nigerian ambassador, the Nigerian High Commissioner from Nigeria to United Kingdom was now saying that when a lot of things good, a lot of people in UK who are from Nigeria are making the UK proud, that the UK will claim this is their own children. But now this is only one person that was even born in United Kingdom who killed somebody. Is now that United Kingdom will not deny them. So to me, there's need for us to map out this so that we not tell our own people in Nigeria, look, all these people who migrated and who are here are from Africa. So that is my own word.
All right. College Joe, what do you think about a month for Nigerian history to be taught and to be discussed?
Yeah, it's very, very important. I'm happy you brought up that question because, see, one thing is, I used to tell people this every time. I say, all the time I was in school, if you allow a white person to tell you your history, then you have lost your sense of originality. So you have lost where you're coming from when another person can tell you your history. So I don't see any professor telling me about Nigeria. He read it in a book, but I lived there. So that is the difference. So most of them, you won't be surprised. Rudolf, there are some students here, ask the other one, how many states do you have in Nigeria? Oh, I thought it's 9 or 19. He's calling it province. So these are the people that just left Nigeria 8 years ago, not even long ago, you know, but they don't know the history. So that month is really important for us to discuss it, because some people don't even know. Some people don't know. Some people think our president is still Obasanjo. Till now, you can imagine that. So those things are really important. Although it's a minor thing, but it's important for us to have that moment. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. Now we are running out of time, so I will come to each of you and ask you to tell me what is keeping you up at night. We'll start with you, Ike in Nigeria. What's keeping you up at night?
Actually, you can see there's no lights. I'm running a generator. My AC is not working. So sometimes it's not conducive to sleep early. You can only sleep early in the morning when the weather is cool. So sometimes that's what keeps me early. And some of my friends who are not here, we have to talk 1 or 2 things. Some are living in Asia, where the time difference is too much. It's almost 7 hours. So sometimes I have to keep awake to talk with them or have 1 or 2 things to do with them. I think that is what keeps me awake. And another thing, when you think the condition someone is finding himself in Nigeria, you have all the reason to be awake, my brother. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Bradford, what is keeping you up?
What I would say is that most of the times we always concentrate our blames, our accusations on the president, but we also sometimes we forget that there's 109 senators, there's 360 members of the national legislative, the lower legislature we elected to represent us. So sometimes, if, let me just say, there is corruption or there is somebody we don't want the president to accept or give a minister, and the president wants to give, we should shift the blame to the National Assembly, not to screen this person, or if the National Assembly decides to go on strike, that they won't do anything till the president takes so and so action. The president will be forced to do it. So my own view is that sometimes the problem in Nigeria, the National Assembly, the senators should take it upon themselves instead of all of us directing the blame on the president.
Okay, that's a good point. College, what's keeping you up at night?
What's keeping me up at night again is the election coming, and I heard the interview with the House of Representatives when she was talking about the chairman of the election saying it's not going to be perfect, and also how we in the diaspora can be part of this election. So that is keeping me up at night if they're going to consider we here to be part of this election. So that's the only thing keeping me up at night.
All right. I want to thank all our guests. Ike in Lagos. Ike, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Brathwaite in Belarus, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Yemi in Canada. Yemi has left, but Yemi, thank you so much for joining us. And College Joe in Canada. College Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rudolf.
Okay, when we come back, we are going to bring you the shows. We are going to bring you the break, Keeping It Real, Dr. Damages, and many more. So stay tuned.